Hello ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to an Assassin's Creed Valhalla guide. Today, Assassin's Creed has slightly changed up the formula. Instead of there always just being a million mission markers showcasing exactly what you've got to do, this time they've gone for a bit more mystery. You can change it a little bit in the settings, I do believe, to make it even more, a bit more traditional. But otherwise, you're going to have to do your eagle vision at the proper eagle points, and then that will reveal some of these blue dots. Now these blue dots will mean a bunch of different things. They'll mean small little missions, they may mean talking to new people or trying a mini game, or in this instance taking on a legendary elk. I've done some guides for some of these already, but this is a complete walkthrough through every single world event and a good way to get yourself leveled up. Even when you're going around the rest of the game, it's going to be one of the best ways to just get loads of experience. And I got myself to level 26, 27 by the time I left for England. The recommended is 20 and most people get there when they're only like level 15 or 16. So give me a like and enjoy with the timestamps. The first one that you'll come across is a legendary creature. I've already shown this off in a separate video, but yep, you'll find a elk at Bloody Peak. It's pretty much just to the west of the starting settlement after the first few cutscenes. He can be pretty tough, especially with his back kick that lifts you, as well as these antlers that if they grab you too, they'll pretty much do a lot of damage. But eventually when you take him out, it's well worth it. You'll get his head as a decoration when you get to your settlement in England. I didn't show that I got any XP for this one, but I pretty much know I got around 1200 because the next bar it shows exactly the increase. I definitely didn't have this much. Nearby in the waterfalls just above you will find some hidden loot chests as well, just an FYI. From that location, keep going west and you'll come across the Warlock world event. Again, I've shown both of these off in a separate video, but I decided to do it more in depth and show all of them now that I completed them. You pretty much have to side either with a hunter or a mysterious man in a cabin who pretty much has accidentally killed your sister when trying to help her because she had some sort of disease. Here's the location on the map, and this is the kind of the route that I took, exploring the southern areas first. Go ahead and talk to the warlock and then decide whether or not you're going to help him or the hunter as they start getting into it. I killed the hunter and I got pretty much to loot him, but I do wonder what would have happened if I'd gone ahead and killed the warlock. Either way, it's a pretty easy 1200 XP and you do get that little bit of extra loot too. Now let's move to the next one. You'll have to keep going west across to this island and all the way on the far coast. You're going to come across this guy who pretty much hasn't been doing much in terms of being a Viking warrior, and he needs to wet his blade with some blood.
I have never heard poetry shouted in this way.
A skald? Oh no, not at all. I am truly looking for honour and have become lost as a result.
There's plenty of polar bears all around here. If you haven't already hunted them on the way to him, you should find some just a little bit south of his encampment. Just draw the polar bears over to it and pretty much he'll start crying his eyes out and ask you for some more help.
I do not think I can do this. I do not think I can do this.
Kill the polar bears and he'll thank you and you'll get 1200 XP. Sticking on this island, we're about to go to the seaport of Stavnger, just to the northeast. You'll find a garrison and this is where you're going to go for the next mystery. It's pretty big and the majority of it is friendly. You can go around, buy some items, also find 2 artifacts here as well and plenty of loot, but there is a small section that has got guards on it for a very good reason. If you're coming from the south, just on the left hand side of the garrison and more towards it, you'll see this little tower and this gives you a perfect view of some of the enemies that you could probably just about sneak past. Again, all the way on the left hand side, you'll come across this dude.
Live a charmed life. Welcome, warrior. Sulke Silvertongue offers wonders from across the 9 worlds.
Turns out this dude's been selling all of your family goods and he was a bit of a traitor.
Your treachery ends here.
It was all I could find. I sold nothing for a long time, but the weight grew too heavy and I needed to eat to survive.
It would have been nice to have a little bit of a choice here with this dude. Kind of, you can have a choice. Anyway, it basically tries escaping and running away and leaving you his key to his shop or his chest. And that is pretty much the end of it. You will get 1200 XP. I ain't gonna lie, I was a bit confused. I thought I could still maybe go and try and kill him. And I accidentally started killing just randoms near me. After a little bit of Benny Hill hilarity trying to catch this guy all across town, as he's pretty quick, I did manage to pull my horse in and catch up to him eventually. Turns out though, the game considered him an NPC and it didn't like the fact that I killed him, but I did get the job done. Sticking in stavnger, you'll actually have a bit of flyting, and this actually constitutes a mystery, which I felt surprising. It was the first attempt I'd had at flyting out of the starting area, but yeah, win I guess or lose, and it will be a mystery encounter. You can of course bet on these as well, wager, so it's a nice little way to earn some extra silver too.
What you make up in muscles, you're lacking in spine.
Not gonna lie, I'm not too enamoured with doing the rap battles, but it is supposedly going to unlock more options for you in the future if you do these and get your charisma up, although I couldn't really find any bar that actually measured the charisma, and it didn't really list how much XP I got on that one, but I'm presuming it's pretty low in numbers, around the 450 mark. Straight after that, you're into the next one, which is having a fisticuffs battle with some other Vikings. Rolf the Raider here wants you to show his crew that they need to toughen up and pretty much take them through the ropes to improve them a little bit. This wasn't a little bad challenge. I ended up having to fight three of them pretty much at the same time. And I've got a feeling it's actually going to help you with your crew members. I'm pretty sure they end up joining your crew, or they may be a way to get them in your crew. There's a kind of primer for the settlement system, and you get another 1200 XP. So all in all, stavnger is a great place to go to get a bunch of XP, at least 3000 I would say. Returning closer to the settlement that you first started at, you're going to be going a little bit north now and climbing a river as it winds its way up a mountain. Here you'll come across a strange woman just sitting by the river, pretty much trying to get suitors because she wants a bit of rumpy pumpy, looking for her comb, which is at the bottom of this river. Obviously it does get cold in the water, so you're going to have to be a bit careful, but it shouldn't be too challenging. Just dive down from the rock as close to the waterfall as possible, and eventually you will get to the little hole that has the comb inside it. There is also a little loot crate underneath or just behind the waterfall too. So yeah, it shouldn't be too challenging, you'll find it. It's just literally where the waterfall is hitting the actual basin. Return it to her and you're going to get yourself that 1200 sweet XP and another world event completed. And I don't know if it gives you any actual benefit, but you can go and sit with her and get acquainted a little bit more as she combs and straightens and gives you a bit of a massage. Woohoo!
Is that why those men scrambled over each other?
I could do more than comb your hair.
So this little one is the one on the right hand side of my circle. As I said, just keep going a little bit northeast and it's pretty much the only path going up that way. Keep following this path upwards to another easy one. You'll come across Ivan, who's meant to be keeping watch, and it seems he's been having trouble staying awake.
Ivan, wake up or you'll be cast into the wild.
Now it turns out Ivan is actually sleepwalking and sleep helter-skeltering. You can follow him too. You're going to pretty much need to.
But now, report back before you're labelled a deserter. Go.
Another 1200 easy XP. Now strangely, this next one I don't remember popping up until a little bit later. I could be wrong, maybe I just missed it, but it's very close to where you find Ivan and just in the mountain range above where you found the comb for the lady. You're going to have to find a little cave entrance, and inside this cave entrance you're going to find a old warrior that's pretty much been living like a hermit, desperate to join Valhalla. You're going to help him achieve that goal by killing him, and you'll also earn yourself the spear, which is a pretty decent weapon. He's actually pretty tough as an enemy, so yeah, you may want to make sure you've got plenty of health. And maybe it did only pop up after I'd completed 7 or 8 of the other previous ones. But he throws throwing axes at you, so make sure you've got something you can defend with and just be out the way when he does his kind of frenzied attack. He will take an arrow to the knee as well as the shoulder, and definitely that will weaken him so you can get in there for the final kills.
Farewell, Drenger. Listen for hoofbeats and follow the Valkyries home.
You can see he still had a little symbol on him as well. That means he's got a weapon. So make sure you loot his body and read the note as well, just to make sure you do get the spear. Okay, we're going to have to sail a little bit now. I'm going to be heading for the island just above where it's got the name of the region, the Rashalbex. This is going to be the first big one we're going to come to, and then there's kind of nice little rhythm to go to. Now, Hard for Light is going to be something you'll go through a lot later, or Jotunheim. That's going to be in the game much later when you're like level 280. You'll be returning here to do some last missions, and there is a chance you can actually miss 2 of the events, so you've got to be really careful when you go and return here much later on. Anywho, go towards this island, and just in the middle you're going to have some magic mushrooms. They've showed this one off quite a bit in previews, and I've seen lots of it in other YouTubers, little game time with it and stuff. So yeah, go through the crow doors, pretty much look at the statues, and the statues in order. So you've got like the old man, the maiden, and then the warrior, and then just go for it in exactly that order. Once you've gone through the last gate with the statue, that's it. You've completed this world event. I only got 700 XP from completing this one, which was a bit disappointing. I don't know if it's gated, whether it changes, but yeah, 700 XP. Oh, and some boar come out of nowhere to have a bit of a tussle with me. The next island over to the west, you will find pretty much it's nearly connecting to this big landmass, and there's a big port there that you go through, and that's where you can find another weapon. Do go and check out my guide on all the weapons. But anyhow, come to this point and you will find a lone warrior or person in the snow asking for help.
Bandits! Come quickly!
I'll say it right now, his acting definitely needs to be a bit improved, as it's not the most secure. Get back on your horse, don't get off just like I did, otherwise it's going to be a bit of an extra walk. Of course, maybe as predicted, when you get there it's a trap. You've got a bunch of bandits that are going to come out and try and take you. They shouldn't be too much of a problem. You pretty much decide to let him live, as he's apparently pretty young. He's got like the face of Benjamin Button when he's ancient, I swear. And then that's that one done, a desperate bounty. You'll also nearly be complete, there's only 2 more left. That one gives you 1200 XP as well. This next one doesn't actually trigger anything on the bar as far as I'm aware, but it does give you XP and it does give you some loot, including a carbon ingot. So basically you're going to Heillbor, which is your home village where you saw your parents be slain. You can go and reminisce and find little memories inside the big long hall, as well as some of the little houses nearby, but you need to find a small little cave entrance, and you can see underneath all the loot. Here there's a bunch of different chests with resources and that carbon ingot. Looting all this area will also net you that 1200 XP, but like I said, it didn't actually progress the mystery or the world events as far as I could tell. Nearly there, last 2, we're going to be going to this island all the way in the northwest. You'll find a small tiny encampment with another drenger, a wizened old warrior who seems to have been losing his marbles a little bit. Pretty much just follow him around this little island and indulge him in his little fantasies.
At the end of our tour is Winchester, the heart of Wessex, where is King Alfred?
Don't worry mate, I'll be meeting him very soon by the time I get over to England. There is an opal here as well, which is a very good reason to come here. The old dude's son isn't best pleased, but you've got yourself another 1200 XP and you've been levelling up like a champ. So the final one that I hadn't done is way over in the peninsula where I haven't done that eagle vision yet. Obviously, as I said, it does highlight them in and around you, but it doesn't always show the artifacts, so it's definitely worth bearing that in mind. It only shows the world events and not exactly what type of event it will be and how much XP it gives. So I'm hopeful this guide is still going to be beneficial to you. I strongly suggest you do not approach it from the northern side or the river on that side, and instead you go up the mountain path on the other side. Otherwise you're going to have to do a ridiculous climb like I did. It's a pretty long, boring climb all the way up top, but eventually I got there. When you arrive, you'll find another person who is in need of you sending them to Valhalla, or at least helping him throw some of his belongings over there straight away. Pick up all the crates and lob them over the side of the mountain.
So, what will you do now that this task is done?
Done? That was to announce my arrival. Now I leave this world. Enjoy your life. To Asgard!
What? Wait!
Thank you!
And there we go. That is all of the side missions, the world events, the mysteries, whatever you want to call them. It's going to get you a ton of XP. As I said, by the time I'd done this and I'd got a lot of the wealth as well and completed the few little missions before going over, I was level 26 or so. So yeah, easily a good way to get yourself really leveled up. Get yourself loads of opals and pretty much get lots of nice items and weapons along the way too. But do go and check out my dedicated guides that I've already done for some of that stuff. Until next time, where I'll take another look at these in the very first region that we come to in England. I'll see you ratbags later.